Welcome to our next video tutorial of QUICKSURFACE. In this tutorial, we will learn how to create a basic primitives. A basic primitives we call the plane, cylinder, and the sphere. I loaded this very basic part, which is quite easy to be manipulated and recreated, but it's good as it will show us how to create these basic primitives in an efficient way. Primitives can be created accessing the main toolbar and clicking on the primitives. You can create the plane, cylinder, and sphere. Another way of creating these primitives is just by selecting Construct menu and selecting the primitive you want to build. If we just start with the plane, it automatically creates our first plane. If we take a look at the coordinate system, this is the plane which lies, and it's identical to our bottom plane, which is, in terms of mathematics, is our OXY plane. This is what we call the type-in way of creating the plane. So the user can change the orientation of the plane, or he can offset this from the origin. In this case, if we just play and type in 50 millimeters and press apply, it will just move down. If we press minus 50, it will go up. This is important to know that every plane has an orientation. It has a normal which goes perpendicular from the plane, and this is the normal coordinates here. So if we type the different numbers here, we'll get a different orientation of the plane. So if I say that my normal is along x-axis, I just need to type this. It will change the plane. Or if you want to put it on an angle, you can just play with these numbers. This is very unusual way of modifying the plane. Probably people will very rarely use it, but this is a way how you can mathematically control our plane. The other way you can manipulate with the plane is by using the handles. At any point, you have these control points of the plane. You can just come with the mouse, hover over the point, and just hold the left mouse button and start dragging. This will change the shape. The plane has one extra point on the side, which is for rotating the plane. In some cases, the user may need just to rotate the plane. Another option is, if you have other planes, you can just create a relation of this plane. For example, if I just say from another plane, in this list, we just get all the planes which will be available in the scene, including the standard one. In this case, just the bottom plane. I just say I want this plane always to be related to the bottom plane at a distance of minus 10 millimeters. So it will move it up. In such a way, even later, if we apply transformation, this plane will stay as it is, because it's not a numerical. We didn't type it in here, the numbers, but we created a relation. So this plane is always linked to what we created here. For example, if we have another plane, we can create our plane related to this one. So whenever we change this plane, we always will get this here. So let's give an example. I create this plane with a distance of 10 millimeters. And then I'll create another plane, and I will say use my plane, but always keep it offset at 50 millimeters. So now I created this relation between plane 1 and plane. And if I go and edit my plane, and the way we edit an entity in QUICKSURFACE is by selecting it in the tree, right click, and select edit. So in this case, I'll just put it down. I will apply, and as you see, we moved our plane under our main base plane. When I press OK, you see that plane 1 is at the same distance. So this is what we call parametric type of modeling. So there are relations between them, so they always kept. For the purposes of reverse engineering, we actually need to create a bit different planes. A plane which goes through these points and represents the surface. So let me delete first my planes which I created. This happens by using the Shift key and clicking on the entities in the object tree, right-clicking and select Delete. From the previous tutorial, we know how to make selections, so I'll just try to select the bottom side of this part using the selection tools. The best way to do this is actually to use the magic wand. I just click with sensitive way, it just selects all the triangles. Here I can control how fine it selects the triangles. In this case, I should try to avoid not to select points at the corners. So when I press OK, I will be able to create a primitive, but we also created a quick way of reconstructing a best fit plane by right-clicking while we are in selection mode and select Fit Primitive. Now I can choose plane. The software automatically finds the plane which is the best fit that goes in the best way through my points. This is the last option of building the plane, and we have different ways to actually constrain this plane, how it still fits through the points, but we can put some limitations to the algorithm how this plane should go through the selected point. In this case, I will just not use any constraint because this is my first plane and it's good enough, and I will press OK. So this is how we created our first plane. Now it's time to say that at any point when we build our CAD model, we can always come and press compare. This is our Deviation Analyzer tool, which gives you information how good you reconstruct your CAD model in respect to the scanned data. We know that the scanning world is noisy and it doesn't provide the perfect data. So that's why we have to work always with some kind of expectations and what we call in our software a tolerance. So what I need in this case is just that I fit a good plane through my points, but I still want to know how good am I through these points. So I put a value of 50 microns. On the right side, you can see there is a color code showing you the deviation and if the points are in the tolerance or they're out of tolerance. So as you see here, these points, they are all under my best fit plane, so that's why they're colored in blue. The way you inspect, you can always just click on the screen and it creates a label so you can see the value, or I can click here and then I can create different labels. This can be, you can take this out of the software by using the print screen command, or you can use the snipping tool in Windows, so you can put this in the reports if you want to. You can press clear labels just to remove them and restart again. When you move the mouse, it automatically takes the point underneath and measures again the cut model. In this case, I'm pretty happy with my results. I can even try this with 10 microns. Now I see that some of the points here are above 10 microns, but this is what depends on the user. It's really what type of expectation he has. So I'll press close for now, and this is my first plane I create. I would like to continue to reconstruct my surfaces, so probably the best way is to get this out the cylinder. Just to mention now that if I just go to the selection, it's quite dangerous that the user may not see that it has already a selected area. So we recommend before creating the next primitive, you always just unselect all. So now I'm ready to go. I'll just hide this coordinate system for a while. Right click and select mesh selection. Mesh selection always makes all the primitives invisible because I want to be focused on my selection and not to see many things on the screen. So even now, if I try to display my plane, it will not be possible. So I just click on this area and just play with the slider. Even more, if you want to add or remove some noisy data, I can just use the other tools. I can just paint a little bit here more. I can turn this off because it selected the opposite path. Now I'll just hold the Alt key, remove this undesired selection. So I'm ready to go. So I'll just right click now and say fitted cylinder. The software makes the best fit cylinder and creates my new entity. If we take a look at this cylinder now, it has two feature points, so you can always drag them on the screen and make it longer. The QUICKSURFACE approach of reconstructing and building a CAD model is by trimming the primitive. So it's always recommended that you make it a bit bigger than what is on the object, so later you can trim and produce your final result. As you see now, the cylinder has been created by fitting through the points and produces some result. At any point you can see the numeric values here in the typing section, where it shows where is the base point. As I move, it changes. And then you can see the direction, which is actually the orientation of this vector of the axis. And also you can see the radius. So now it's the time to show you a bit more advanced techniques of how to build this cylinder. If you think about this cylinder, it goes really well through the fit points, but is this something that we need? In this case, because I reconstruct my cut object, I would like to have this cylinder in a better way. For example, I don't want to have the radius, which is 100.083 millimeters, because this will be hard to manufacture. And I can just go to the typing mode and build this. But the other approach is, while we're still building the cylinder through the points, I can constrain my algorithm and say, okay, you still try to fit the cylinder through the points, but just make sure that you generate a cylinder which has exactly 100 millimeter radius. And I press rebuild, and the software will actually recreate my cylinder. In this case, the orientation is still something that it's in space, detected and generated in such a way so it's best fit through the points. But also, what we can create as a flexibility is that I may say that, okay, when you do the fit, just build the cylinder, but take the orientation actually in such a way so it's a perpendicular to the bottom plane. In this way, my leading primitive will be the plane, but the cylinder will be generated to follow this rule. So I can take this, and the software will actually build a new cylinder which uses the following conditions. Tries to be the best fit through the points, but at the same time it has a radius of 100 millimeter and it's absolutely perpendicular to my bottom plane. And then I can press OK. Now we have these two primitives, and I can always come back and edit my cylinder, as you see. But what about the plane? How we can, as you see now on the screen, it's good, but it's not good for trimming. So I can go and edit my plane. Or the easiest way is you just click on the plane, and it automatically will show you this manipulator points. So you can just use this instantly on the screen, and you can just drag and drop on the screen so you can change the shape in such a way that it's suitable for trimming, for example. I can leave it like this, or I can extend it. Or if I want to change the cylinder, I just click on the cylinder, and then I move it up and down, and this is automatically, it's updated. As I said again, at any point, we can just press compare and see our result. As you see, although our plane is quite good, our cylinder doesn't go through the selected points in the best way, because the tolerance is too tight. I'll just put it 50 microns, and as you see, it is much better. But the reason for this is that we limited the cylinder and changed its behavior to follow the expectations of the design intent. It's not that much to follow the points, but to what we want to achieve. In some cases, quite rarely, but user may need to create also a sphere. So if I open this part, it's just a training part for demonstration. This is the sphere we have here. So again, we can just do selection using this sensitive command. As you see, this is a good example that during scanning you get some noise. QUICKSURFACE doesn't need a mesh to be completed. It may have holes, so this is actually another limitation. So the user doesn't need to have a watertight mesh. He can use the mesh even with some artifacts and defects. So in this case, I'll just select what I see that it's good for a representation of the sphere. I can even reduce this, so you can see I remove all these outliers, so they are not selecting, they are not taking part in my best fit of the sphere. And I can go to primitives and select find the sphere. So the software, again, like in the cylinder, it makes the best fit of the sphere, and you can apply the same constraint. For example, now the radius of the sphere is 19.9078, but the user may just select and say, my design intent is I still want to get the best fit of this through this point, but I want this radius to be exactly 20 millimeters. Or you can just leave the best fit through the points. For example, sometimes this will be needed for the perfect alignment of the object in the space. If I press OK, my sphere is created, and then I can just run the compare command, which is our diagnostic tool. And as you see here, you can obviously see the imperfection of the scan. This can be because the scan is not good enough, or the object itself has some damages here, or this is not a perfect sphere which has been manufactured. So all this inspection helps a lot to see what the expectations are, and you can build the CAD model in the most efficient way. Another option for the sphere which we can edit is just by using the typing command. This will build the sphere in such a way so it's not related anymore to anything. It just uses the position of the center where we specify exactly, and uses exactly the radius we provide. Another option is that we can create the sphere to be the same, located in the same coordinates like another sphere, but with a different radius, and in such a way we can just build a relation between them. This was the basic about how to create our primitives like plane, cylinder, and sphere, and in the next video we'll learn how to use these primitives to align our object in space, and how to use them for reconstruction and creating a CAD model. Thank you for watching.